And it's going to start this week against the Los Angeles Chargers when I officially lose my bet with Shan, I think.
Yes!
So we'll have to say, this is not going to go the way that I want it to.
Reset the bet.
So it was that Dallas would go 6-2 down the stretch, at least, which that was included in there. I thought they'd beat the Vikings. I thought they would lose 2 of the games between the Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, and Chargers. And now that I've gotten a look at the Chargers, I think definitely this is going to be a game that you lose. But let's talk about how you could win it. This is a very boring football team.
Yes.
Like exceedingly boring on both sides of the ball, the way that they do things. So, we hear about the Matt Eberflus, like bend but don't break. Or like when Garrett used to be here. That's a good example. So Garrett, when he was here, you remember just used to be, just execute. We're not going to do anything crazy.
Hats on hats.
Just execute. And then on the other side of the ball, it was the Marinelli don't blitz and just, hey, kind of keep things in front of you. Execute. Do your job. Do this. Do that. That's what the Chargers do on both sides of the ball. They are all about execution. The thing is that they've got pretty good players who can execute and can do the things that you need them to. So offensively, I think they're really boring the way that they design things. It is a whole bunch of just...
Is this what Harbaugh wants, though? Like, my number one complaint, if I'm a Charger fan, I would go in to LA radio studios and say, man, if Harbaugh would make this offense, if we had a little bit more explosive offense, we could take the next step. Feels like we're going to win 10 games every year. We may win 11. But I want Jim to go ahead and take off some of the restraints, or is he just doing it because the tackles were hurt? Or does he want to, old school Parcells, except for having Bledsoe, win these games 23-16?
Thought he had Bledsoe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he wants to old school it. That's why Michigan, look at how
he's an offensive guy.
Yeah, but look at how he wanted to do things at Michigan. And he definitely, even though he's an offensive guy, he came up in the era of 90s, early 90s, run the ball and just.
I feel like it's such a stress on you every week versus having a rare game or two where you're like, all right, we're winning by 13. Mm-hmm. We're going to score 30. We're going to score 30. And it's a grind. Every week watching them, it's a tough physical grind.
They are comfortably number 1 in the NFL in average drive time. They take the most time off the clock in the NFL.
Look, we're already in a league where the margins are so slim.
Yeah.
And they even make them slimmer on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is going on there? Maybe is it an indictment on Herbert?
It's just no, it's not an indictment on Herbert, who's still that's the new litmus test for the ball knowers is going to be Herbert. Because Herbert, if you watch the tape, you see Herbert's really, really good. Herbert is really good. He's in an offense that does what it does and wants to execute the way that it does. But if you talk about decision making and the way that he throws the ball, some of the stuff that he can, thread the needle through, he's easily one of the 5 most talented players in the NFL.
No one has ever disputed that. Talent.
I think a lot of people have disputed if he's a top 5 talent in the NFL. Not quarterback. I mean in the NFL at any position.
Everyone says he's super talent. The mold of what you want a quarterback to be. Their point differential is plus 31. The Chiefs are 4 losses behind them, and they have a plus 60 point differential. There's a 30-point gap between the Chargers at 10-4 and the Chiefs at 6-8.
Nick Saban thinks they should be in the playoffs above the Chargers.
What's the difference between Herbert and Lawrence?
In what I mean, if other than what? What do you want me to say? If you literally watch the 2 players, they are nowhere close. Look at their QBR in general over their career. They're completely different players.
Trevor's actually gone to the playoffs more. Right?
Okay, but since when have you ever been a team results guy over what the quarterback actually is?
I think the quarterback has to.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence is as good as Justin Herbert? Dead serious? Because if you're going to say that, then it's just.
I think we're talking their talent. Their raw talent is what everybody talks. All I'm saying is
I don't think it is nowhere close on raw talent. It's nowhere close on execution. They're not the same football player at all.
Trevor Lawrence was like the generational Andrew Luck, John Elway. All I'm saying is
people can say that they are not the same player.
I would just like for one time, people to give Justin Herbert the same grief that they give Trevor Lawrence, because I'm super
impressed. That's a ridiculous standard
with
because they're not the same player. They're not the same player.
I'm starting to give Herbert grief.
You are.
You can give Herbert grief, and that's fine. Like, just like there's the question of, does Josh Allen get the most out of what he does? Does Josh Allen come through in big moments? Is there this or that? Like, you can look at it that way. But if you're just talking about his own individual thing and what he does and how he executes, to put him in the same breath as Trevor Lawrence is insane.
I'm not saying that. I can't stand
The numbers
Trevor
are
Lawrence.
basically the same this year.
I can't stand Trevor Lawrence. I don't want Jacksonville to succeed, but I'm done with the Justin Herbert passes. If you have someone that is this great and glowing, then I don't restrain him. I don't think Harbaugh's that stupid to go ahead and restrain him. And Justin Herbert, Kevin Hagelin, this would be a good fight. Bobby, don't let the Nick Saban thing
Ruin your day.
Ruin your day.
It doesn't. The Herbert thing, this is I'm
not comparing him to Lawrence.
No, this has been his worst season. This is by far the worst he's played. This season is.
Yeah.
But that's...
the number one thing I'll give him props for, man, he is a tough SOB.
He's tough.
He is taking beatings going out there with the surgery on the left hand. He's super tough. And he makes throws that I'm way more impressed by than Trevor. That's my difference.
Look, my issue with him is it's like in the Moneyball.
You could argue
movie.
Trevor has had better weapons. Is that crazy to say? I don't think any of them are going to blow you away, but
probably.
But I feel like, I can't think of who do we have? TCU wideouts dropping balls.
Hey, Quentin's played better.
Okay,
a little better.
He's playing a little better this year. Anyway, it's the Film Room Study in the commercial-free Expressway. We have a concert ticket giveaway coming up.
Yeah, and by the way, essentially the only guys the only guys since 2020 who have a 60 QBR or above every season coming into this year, it's Herbert, Mahomes, and Allen. Those are the three. So they're not even in the same ballpark, especially when Lawrence, I don't think, has ever had a 60 QBR in his life, much less 5 in a row. I don't think he has. All right, so the Los Angeles Chargers, they're incredibly boring. They want to out-execute everybody. They think they're just better on skill. Their offensive line has not been good enough. That's been a problem for them this year. They give up a ton of pressure. They do not open enough holes in the running game. Their running game has not been as efficient as I'm sure Jim Harbaugh would want it, but Jim Harbaugh wants to muck it up. Like, that's what he wanted to do at Michigan. There were times it felt like that's what he wanted to do when he was with the 49ers, was just, hey, let's out-execute everybody. Greg Roman is their offensive coordinator now and play caller. Roman obviously has been thought of as a little too old school for the last several years, and some of the stuff that he did previously with Lamar Jackson.
Harbaugh would go and hire Arthur Smith.
You should.
Harbaugh would go and hire like Maurice Carthon to run his offense or so. Like he would go so old school. He does want to. You got to remember, he completely took the ball out of J.J. McCarthy's hands at Michigan. He didn't want him ever throwing. He's never wanted to really push the ball downfield with any of the quarterbacks that he's had. Kaepernick, when he came on the scene and kind of burst onto it, a lot of people felt like he had always had kind of like restrictions on the way that he would throw the football. And
he had luck at Stanford, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, even still, it's one of those things where he so clearly just comes from an era that believes in grit and believes in intangibles over analytics, and that's what he does. Yeah, and he still wins. He's great. I would have taken him here. I love him.
Yeah.
But it is one of those instances of a guy who just believes in secrets in the dirt kind of thing. Like he is that type of a coach. But offensively, this has been a better year for Quentin Johnston than it has another year. I'm concerned about the way their receivers play. So the receivers are good. Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey. McConkey could be a real problem for them today or this weekend. Aronde Gadsden II, son of former Dolphins and former Cowboys receiver. A lot of people don't know he was with the Cowboys in training camp.
On my fantasy team.
The son of Aronde Gadsden. He has been a good player for them at tight end this year. So they've got guys who can execute in the receiving game. Like I said, Herbert has made worse decisions this year and had problems this year more than any other. A lot of it feels like it's related to the pass rush. A lot of that stuff that they've had to weather, he has been hit a ton. He's already up to almost 50 sacks this season. It's by far the most he's ever been sacked in his career. The pressure rate has been absurd. All of their offensive linemen struggle. All of them to actually block things up. So we've heard that the last 2 weeks. It'd be nice if they could block things up this week for the Cowboys, or if they could get some pressure this week for the Cowboys. But having not seen it the last 2 weeks whenever the vulnerability was there, I don't know with certainty that they are going to execute, but you should be able to.
Keep in mind, Deron Bland is out Sunday and the rest of the season with the surgery again to the same foot. Quinnen Williams was upgraded to limited yesterday with the concussion, but no Bland. Brian Schottenheimer coming up at 8:20 to answer if that means that Trayvon Diggs gets pushed up the depth chart onto the field.
Defensively, Brian Schottenheimer had talked about
and Eberflus upstairs.
Brian Schottenheimer talked about how defensively the Chargers are. Basically, he was trying to say it in a way that didn't sound demeaning because it wasn't. He was saying it in a good way, but he said they're really not that complicated, or they don't really do anything, and it's because they play things pretty straight up. They blitz the least in the NFL. They essentially just play cover 4 a big chunk of the time. They're in zone a lot, one of the higher zone rates in the NFL. They just kind of stand up, keep things in front of them, and again, they're worried about execution. Derwin James is a big part of what they do in terms of how they move him around, how they want to place him, and he has been as good this year as he's been in any other year. I think he's been really, really fantastic, what you see on tape. Just really strong across the board. That to me is... We probably don't talk enough about how good Derwin James has been. Like, he's been so damn consistent since he got into the NFL.
My favorite player ever is Sean Taylor.
There's some of those aspects. So he's better in coverage.
I was wondering if he has been the closest thing to Sean Taylor since.
Similar. That's a similar kind of player. He, like I said, Sean Taylor had his issues in coverage at times, but that was some of the play style.
Go get it.
Yeah, some of the play style, the physicality. Derwin James is very similar. The play recognition. I remember there was a play on tape at Florida State where Derwin James was on the opposite hash, saw the quarterback scrambling. They were scrambling from like the 10-yard line trying to get in the end zone. They were going the opposite way, and Derwin James had cut all the way across the field and got to the goal line in time to stop him. And so he sees stuff. He reacts the right way. He's got great instincts. He is the most dangerous, versatile player that they have on defense. Now, even though they don't really blitz very often, it's about a 20% rate, they will get to the quarterback. They've got one of the higher sack rates in the NFL. They've had a lot of success getting there with Odafe Owe, the trade they had made with Baltimore, which we had talked about previously. Like, that would have been a guy that would have been of interest to the Cowboys, I would think, or would have been helpful to the Cowboys if they knew he was available.
Derwin, by the way, officially ended the Chiefs' season with that interception at the end against Kelsey.
Tuli Tuipulotu, who is the former USC edge rusher, he's broken out this season. We all really liked him coming out of the draft a couple years ago when we talked about draft show stuff. Just really high motor player and physical, and he's picked up 12 sacks for them this season. He has been their best pass rusher. They've still got Khalil Mack, who can rush the passer and can turn back the clock a little bit, but it is a team that is able to get home with 4. They don't need to blitz. They can kind of play things back. They've had disciplined guys in the secondary like Dante Jackson, Derwin James, the different things that they've done there. I think the second level is probably where they're at their most vulnerable. Their linebackers haven't always been consistent this year. They've had some issues tackling in space. So this may be a game where Dallas tries to attack the intermediate area. Maybe they try to run the ball on them a little bit. I think you can run the ball on the Chargers. As good as their defense is, that's probably where the vulnerability exists, is just try to take advantage of the run game. Similar to last week, how the Vikings don't get the ball run on them a ton, or like the raw yardage wasn't one of the worst in the NFL. But efficiency-wise, you could find gaps where you could attack them. Similar sort of thing here with the Chargers. I think if you can get to the edges and kind of get some plays in space, that would help. Now, obviously, Javonte Williams is generally more of a physical between the tackles sort of guy, but if you can run things a little more off tackle, if you could hopefully get Tyler Guyton back this week, which seems murky at best.
Still the concussion?
No, it's the ankle.
Oh, the ankle.
Yeah, he hasn't practiced the first 2 days. If you could get him back, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm trying to run off the right side and see if Terrence Steele can block things up for me. But they're going to have to run the ball really effectively, I think, early in this game to be able to kind of push the ball a little bit. But even still, with the passing game, I think it's going to be a lot of short of the sticks and a lot of intermediate area. I don't think they're going to be able to take a lot of deep shots in this game because it's a lot of cover 4. The last team you played that played a ton of cover 4 was the Cardinals. And the Cardinals kind of kept everything in front of you and wouldn't let you push the ball downfield. Same sort of thing. You're not going to beat them deep, and they're going to be able to rush the passer with 4. The only place you can live really is in those intermediate areas.
It's such a shame to have those uniforms and be so boring.
I know. The Powder Blues, #1 seed.
Oh, yeah.
Or are you talking about the other ones, too?
Well, the powder blues are the ones. They don't wear those enough.
No.
They've gone back.
It's like the McRib.
It's like they have decided that they wanted to take the demon love child of the baby blues, but the white helmets, and then they're Stan Humphreys or whatever it is, 95 unis, and that's just not a good match. I mean, you got to go baby blue.
Amazing game, by the way, last night. Thursday Night Football living up to all the hype as the Rams end up losing to the Seattle Seahawks in overtime. A walk-off two-point conversion. A two-point conversion that went Seattle's way that we've never seen before. Puka Nacua going crazy. Going crazy again after the game by insulting. What type of fine is he going to get now?
Oh, man. They will usually crack down pretty hard when you start calling into question integrity, stuff like that. I would imagine that, without remembering what it is, I would imagine he's minimum $50,000 for that.
Got the Jewish dance controversy.
Yes, you do.
On top of it, all of it right there with Thursday Night Football. What a treat. Dallas Mavericks winning in overtime over Remus Pistons and the Dallas Stars as well. Awesome Thursday.
It was. You know, you get too many games out there. You got to have 3 TVs. I mean, you really do. It's a lot to watch, especially when you're watching 2 on apps that are just damn near impossible. But that football game was, I mean, it was fun. I love going for 2. They knew the situation where if they had gotten a tie, the Rams would own the tiebreaker because of the way the previous head-to-head went. But what a finish.
Myles Garrett in 2023 called officials corrupt. He got $25,000.
That's it.
Andy Reid called their officiating embarrassing. They definitely go down harder on coaches because Andy Reid got $100,000 for saying embarrassing.